So PINKLON Thomas in the ring, and there's a look at his record. 24 wins. He has not yet lost. And the draw, of course, coming with Jerry Coetzee, who is on hand to watch tonight. 20 knockouts for PINKLON Thomas. He says that he can take a man out with one punch, right?
Well, PINKLON Thomas is converted southpaw, Barry, and he's very strong. And I think what you're going to see, a lot of left jabs thrown.
And here's the record of Tim Witherspoon. He has just the one loss, and that was certainly not an embarrassing one to Larry Holmes, a fight that a lot of people feel he won. 18-1, 12 knockouts. Neither one of these men, what you'd call completely experienced, as PINKLON Thomas with just over 20 fights, and as you saw, Tim Witherspoon with just 18 fights. So neither one of these guys really is going to write the book on experience. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. They're both 26. They're both 6'3", within a pound of one another and within a half-inch in reach. So if you're going to look for any difference in the tail of the tape, you certainly will not be finding it there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have you meet some of the boxing dignitaries in the audience this evening and ask these gentlemen to step into the ring as they are introduced. Introducing, first of all, the WBA welterweight champion from Fort Worth, Texas, Donald Curry. A former WBC junior lightweight champion, now a lightweight contender, Hector Macho Camacho. The WBA heavyweight champion of the world from Huntington Beach, California, Jerry Coetzee. And the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world from Easton, Pennsylvania, the Easton assassin, Larry Holmes. And the premier sports promoter, boxing promoter of the world, Mr. Don King. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce the Naval Reserve color guard from Las Vegas. And here now, I hope you will all join this talented young man from the Jackson family in the rendering of God Bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Jermaine Jackson. Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 3 by the WBC in the world, fighting out of Pontiac, Michigan, weighing 216 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 24 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, and 20 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, PINKLON Pinky Thomas. He fights out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 217 pounds. His professional record consists of 18 wins, 1 defeat with 12 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion, Terrible Tim Witherspoon.
I want to caution you, obey my commands at all times. When I say break, stop punching, take a step back. Protecting yourself at all times. Shake hands, good luck to both of you.
Grandfather named Franklin, grandmother named Pinky. They combined them and it became PINKLON, and he's actually the second of the PINKLONs, and his son is also a PINKLON.
And here's a guy who has not changed the expression on his face in the 4 days that we've been here in Las Vegas. He has looked exactly the same at all times. And incidentally, one other note as we get started here in the first round, that Tim Witherspoon actually got a mixture of cheers and boos when he was introduced. So as we mentioned, he's a champion, but he has to treat himself as a challenger. He's got a lot to prove.
What I've noticed, both fighters are standing straight up and they're winning the best shots. So we could have a flash flood knockdown. Well, there's no perspiration. I guess that's because of the national anthem. PINKLON Thomas has that good left jab, good strong left jab. Tim Witherspoon works the body very well. Very strong inside.
He has said he's got to punch more, he's got to be more active, and he said he was going to do that. Now we'll see if the man can change his style. We saw one man try to change his style in a fight just a moment ago, and we saw him lose. Greg Page was a different Greg Page, but the result was a loss to David Bay.
Both fighters are very tight at this point, Barry, and they're just trying to establish themselves with their left jabs.
Thomas, former track man, has very good legs, good solid looking fighter. Takes a good chopping right hand by Tim Witherspoon.
That's going to happen throughout the fight as long as both fighters are standing straight up.
And Pinklon Thomas content to keep that left hand down around his waistband and just inviting that right hand lead.
You notice that Tim Witherspoon always finished off by throwing a body shot. He's a very good body puncher. He knows exactly how to wear his man down and then take advantage of it.
Neither one of these fighters has been around for a long time, interesting to note.
Well, I think natural talent, Barrett, both fighter has, and just that natural raw physical strength that compensates for the inexperience.
Witherspoon, 19 years old when he started fighting. Pinklon Thomas, 21 years old when he started fighting. Only had 3 amateur fights. Actually, a little bit of swelling early along the left eye of Pinklon Thomas.
Well, they both just wailing away at each other and standing in front. No movement, no lateral movement, no angles. They're right in front of each other.
There's a 2-punch combination by Thomas. Pretty early to have any swelling, and Thomas does have just ever so slight an amount on the cheek. He took a good punch that time from Tim Witherspoon.
Oh, look at the right hand of Pinklon Thomas. He drops it every time he extends that left jab. A left hook by Tim Witherspoon would be beautiful.
Something to watch for, and he does in fact do that. Tim Witherspoon, true to his word, has been much more active in round 1 here.
Angelo Dundee is looking for his 10th world champion in this fight. He is 63 years old. Just yesterday, in fact, Ray.
Happy birthday, Angelo.
We'll see if it is or not.
Angelo Dundee does have a way of getting the attention of his fighter in the corner. I'll say that, Ray.
Well, if someone's smacking your thigh, it brings you back to life. And that's what Angelo's trying to do with Pinklon Thomas. He doesn't want his man to remain stiff and tight. He wants him to loosen up a bit.
And Pinklon Thomas is straight up and down here, and right now the better jabs are coming from Tim Witherspoon.
And now Pinklon Thomas floating that left jab. Once again, the right hand of Pinklon Thomas is down. He drops it. And I don't see why Tim Witherspoon is not taking advantage of it. There's the right hand.
Another quick right hand lead. And Thomas keeps that left hand down by his side, too, until he flicks the jab, and then he drops his right hand.
I'm more so concerned with that right hand of Pinklon Thomas because the left hand, his shoulders are protecting him. But that right hand always bothers me. He's just too straight up, Barry. I mean, jabs, right hands can easily connect, rather.
Witherspoon scoring with some proficiency here.
What's going to be the case?
Good combination by Thomas that time. Might have stunned or at least gotten the attention of Tim Witherspoon.
And what's doing the damage is the left jab of Pinklon Thomas because it's like a right hand because he's converted southpaw.
Witherspoon picking up the pace early on here, something he has not done in the past. He promised everybody he would. He's been true to his word so far. But he's got a tough customer in front of him tonight.
I've seen both fighters much more relaxed in other fights than I've seen tonight.
Combination by Witherspoon, both score. Thomas seems to telegraph his punches a little bit too.
For Pinklon, especially when he throws that right hand to the body, it's open glove, so it's not really that effective.
Right hand lead that time by Thomas.
Just then, Tim Witherspoon switched to southpaw. He didn't land. They both seem so tight to me, though.
Right hand by Thomas, or rather by Witherspoon again. As Ray Leonard mentioned earlier, Pinklon Thomas, a converted southpaw. In fact, he is really left-handed. He writes left-handed, does most things left-handed. Good right hand combination by Pinklon Thomas. Jab is effective when it does get in. Heavy-handed, Pinklon Thomas.
These are two big, strong men just standing in front of each other and punching away.
That's exactly what's happened. This whole fight has been fought in the center of the ring. It's a 20-foot square. It's been fought in about 4-foot square.
Well, there's just a little redness under the eyes of Pinklon Thomas. And I'm sure Tim Witherspoon wants to go after it and make it worse.
And Witherspoon continues to work very hard offensively.
Once again, Witherspoon's turned southpaw. What's happening? Both fighters are just trying to load up with one big punch. Those are good shots to the body by Witherspoon.
Very good body shot. Witherspoon looking very sharp. Takes that jab again. When Thomas gets that jab inside, it is a very effective punch, and it actually snaps the head of his opponent back. Another thing to keep in mind is that Thomas is a fighter who historically has fought better in the later rounds.
Well, now Thomas just tried to land a good right hand. And what you're saying now, both fighters getting relaxed. Good body shot with the left hook to the body thrown by Tim Witherspoon. But as I was saying, Barrett, they're both fighters getting loose now. And you'll see more punches thrown.
Witherspoon staying very busy so far, being pretty sharp with his punches. Both men actually fairly sharp with their punches.
He has to be very careful with this one way he walks away, because what can happen, PINKLON Thomas can rush in and land some shots.
Witherspoon talking to Thomas, saying, come on, come on. That's a good left hook. Some pretty heavy punches being landed through the first 2.5 rounds here. Witherspoon a little bit short with the right hand. We had his man open. Witherspoon did an interesting thing there. Before he took 2 punches from Thomas, he just took a big, deep breath.
But he stood directly in front of PINKLON Thomas. That's why PINKLON was able to land. That jab just...
And he's still breathing through his mouth, and I don't know if there's some trouble. Might have been hit in the stomach or something and caused him to catch his breath.
Witherspoon was blinking now. That jab, as I was stating, the jab of PINKLON Thomas is so strong and so devastating.
Thomas being very efficient here. And Witherspoon's pace has slowed considerably here in this round.
Now PINKLON is doing the right thing. He's starting to pick his shots.
Wild right hand by Witherspoon at the bell. Interesting round, I think, Larry.
There you see Witherspoon pouring through the defense. Thomas pouring through Witherspoon's defense. Here's another look at it. As you notice, Witherspoon tries to use his right hand as a parrying defensive weapon. And what Thomas is trying to do is find ways to come around it, both with the right and the left hooks.
This is the 4th round, and PINKLON Thomas started to exert himself in that last round.
Well, Witherspoon was instructed to work that body, right hand to the body and back up to the head. But he has to get inside first. And what's going to get him inside, Barry, is the left jab.
Backhanded him. And Richard Steele steps in and says, you can't do that.
That was a version of Bruce Lee.
We have seen that a number of times tonight. You know, you can almost see a fighter when he decides that he's got respect for his man, and that's the way Tim Witherspoon looks to me right now. It looks like he's thinking, this guy can hurt me.
I'm sure he's aware of that. And I noticed that Witherspoon is constantly blinking his eye. It appears to me it's starting to bother him. Witherspoon doesn't appear to me, Barry, to be in the fight. I mean, he just doesn't seem as confident as I've seen him in his previous fights.
And he's blinking like a fighter who might have been thumbed. I didn't see that happen, but it's not inconceivable that it could have.
I mean, Witherspoon is just not as aggressive. He's just there. And you notice that Thomas is just taking advantage of it. And he's picking his shots. He used that left jab very well. And what's protecting Thomas is his shoulders, because Tim Witherspoon's punches are roundhouse and is riding over Thomas' shoulders.
Witherspoon covering up, and Thomas still scoring. A little bit of swelling. That appreciably, but a little bit of swelling along the left eye of Tim Witherspoon. He's taken a lot of shots.
I've noticed that Witherspoon puts both feet together. Very bad. It's so easy to be knocked down or knocked off balance.
You know, the other side of the coin, we talked about the fact that Thomas is a straight up and down fighter, but he does always seem to be on balance when he punches. He's flat-footed, really seems to get the most out of his punches. That was a good right hand by Witherspoon.
Watch the jab. Look at the jab of PINKLON Thomas. I mean, he's starting to double up now. And what Witherspoon is doing, he's starting to telegraph that right hand. PINKLON Thomas waiting for it, and that's why he just covers up.
Thomas pacing himself as he has in most every fight. For a moment, Witherspoon goes southpaw again, now switches back.
Look at that left jab just getting through. And it's consistent, Barry. And it's starting to bother Witherspoon.
Witherspoon breathing through his mouth a little bit. He's absorbed a lot of punishment, actually. There hasn't been the one big punch. But Thomas has got that jab in his face, and it's a very effective jab. You can just hear it snap every time he uses it.
Exactly. He's snapping it. It appears to me he's waiting for it to get his right hand in, because the jab is definitely finding its way through the defense of Witherspoon.
Get looser with that jab. No, come on. Well, stop backing up. And when he turns southpaw, jab him. You can't jab him when he turns southpaw. Get up, come on. Get up next time, come on.
You heard Witherspoon ask whether it was a good fight. Once again, his concern that he is performing so that the public will appreciate his performance. But of course, he's got to win.
You know, Angelo instructed PINKLON Thomas, once Tim Witherspoon turns to southpaw, to release that left jab, because he can catch him while he's in motion.
Well, a jab has been very effective for PINKLON Thomas, and he seems, for the last round and a half or so, to have taken charge in this fight.
That right eye, Barry, is really bothering Tim Witherspoon. He's blinking now.
Seems to be. One of the three punches landed by Witherspoon, and now he retreats to the ropes.
Witherspoon is so concerned on whether or not he's looking good or whether or not it's a good fight that I think it's just breaking his concentration.
Subscribing to the theory that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you look playing the game.
Well, and that's the way to make more money, too. You got to be impressive, and I think that's what's on his mind.
You know, the other thing that strikes me, too, about the way Witherspoon fights, Witherspoon seems to be looking at the belt buckle of PINKLON Thomas and not into his eyes.
Well, I don't know exactly what his strategy is. I mean, he's been going to the body whatever opportunity he has, but he has not been consistent enough. Whereas at PINKLON Thomas, I mean, he's moving away, he's using his footwork, he steps out of reach of Witherspoon. Look, he's very elusive there.
Backhanded him again. You know, just as we said earlier, that Witherspoon seems at this point to respect the fact that Thomas can hurt him. The opposite, I feel, is true about Thomas. I believe he doesn't think that Witherspoon can hurt him.
Well, Witherspoon has yet to land some big punches.
Good right hand there by Thomas. And there's a lunging shot by Witherspoon once more.
It could possibly, like I said, but it could, well, he's deducting one round. And now you may see frustration in the eyes of Tim Witherspoon, which he can lose his composure and leave himself wide open.
So 1 point deducted from Tim Witherspoon by Richard Steele. 2 warnings in this round for backhanding.
You know something? PINKLON Thomas is so relaxed, Barry. I mean, he's in control. He feels he's totally dominating this fight, and he's showing no respect whatsoever to Tim Witherspoon.
That's why I say he's fighting like a man who doesn't feel that he can be hurt. Last time I said that, you got knocked down.
Let's not talk about that, okay?
Now there you see where he came back with his backhand. This is the wrong sport for a backhand. There you'll see it again there. It's an instinctive reaction. He's not doing it deliberately. And he's sorry almost immediately as he hits his opponent, but it cost him a point that could be an important point. Right now the champion is behind in this fight.
some of the best punches of the fight are being thrown by Angelo Dundee between rounds, I'll tell you that.
Pump it. That's it, stick. Make it back up.
So this is the 6th round. And again, Witherspoon comes out blinking his eyes.
Pump it. Don't wait on him. There you go. Don't wait.
Thomas has been so good as far as getting away from those punches thrown by Witherspoon. It seems as though he knows exactly when to move that head.
You're waiting on him, Tim.
He's very, very calm also. Seems to be in control. And he seems to have Witherspoon confused.
Well, that is the key to the fight. In fact, Thomas is far more relaxed than Witherspoon.
Now, Thomas took 2 left hooks by Witherspoon. Might have been his best shots, and he didn't back him up at all.
Oh, look who was that. Oh, look who was that.
Now back to the southpaw, and he was caught. And what I see in Witherspoon, he's just floating his jab out. He's southpaw, and I still see that the blinking in Witherspoon, that his eyes, whatever eye it is, it's really bothering him.
Well, Thomas showing an uncanny ability to get through those gloves on the jab.
And now I see Witherspoon is rushing in.
And Witherspoon looked at Richard Steele about something. I'm not too sure, but Witherspoon's not hurt here.
His eyes is really bothering him, I see now. He's blinking both eyes now.
Definitely is, and I think he wanted to tell Richard Steele something, but remember the credo of protect yourself at all times. Thomas goes downstairs.
What Thomas should do, he should stay on the outside and use that jab.
We haven't heard any conversation in Witherspoon's corner about any problem with his eyes, but the fact is he has been blinking for most of the fight.
Look at the left jab of PINKLON Thomas. It's getting through the defense of Witherspoon so easily now.
And a right hand comes right over the top. And again the jab, right through the gloves. Radar jab.
Thomas' jab is getting through beautiful, but I think he should put some more punches together. Right hand, left hook.
But he is picking the tempo up here. Coming with the right hand a lot more than he was early.
That left jab is devastating. Just snapping the head of Tim Witherspoon.
And Witherspoon a right hand and a left hand to the chin of PINKLON Thomas, but again Thomas doesn't take a backward step.
See Thomas, he's using that shoulder again.
That was a good left hand by Thomas. And now he follows it up.
Don't hold him. Keep him up.
Let's take a look here and see if Thomas can, how he's trying to penetrate Witherspoon's cover-up defense here. There was an exchange in the corner there that is very interesting. There's a lot of advice coming to the champion saying you can't let up, you got to go after him. And Witherspoon responded, let's not panic, I'm the champion.
So Witherspoon, obviously, in his mind at least, knows what he's doing. Should also point out, this fight is for 12 rounds. Championship fight, WBC, 12, not 15.
And what has been doing the most damage has been the left jab. Especially for PINKLON Thomas.
I'm really impressed with the left jab of PINKLON Thomas. PINKLON Thomas, just a good athlete. He's a track man, played basketball, played a little football. Look at that jab.
That jab is beautiful.
I'll tell you, he makes Tim Witherspoon look like one of those dogs in the back of a car.
Those body shots now are starting to hurt PINKLON Thomas. But Witherspoon doesn't stay down long enough.
That was a good left hand by Witherspoon.
I don't think PINKLON Thomas should be there because he's doing a much better job and he's far more effective on the outside, just using that left jab. Inside, he's taking a chance of being caught by one of those roundhouse punches thrown by Witherspoon.
An overhand right by Witherspoon. Thomas, right at the moment, looks like he might be a little bit tired. That was a good right hand by Witherspoon.
Again, Bud, PINKLON doesn't want to be inside fighting Tim Witherspoon's fight. He should be outside because he's giving Witherspoon an opportunity to land some of those punches. The left jab has been working great for PINKLON. And especially he can do much more damage to the eyes because Witherspoon has been blinking throughout the fight. So left jab will come in handy.
And Witherspoon getting the better of it inside. Good right hand. That hurt Thomas. Thomas opens up, however. He was hurt and he came right back and hurt Witherspoon. Might have been the best exchange of the fight on both sides.
Now you see what's happening. Become going for punch.
There was a right hand. He measured Witherspoon with a right and hurt it.
PINKLON Thomas showed us some championship gumption right there. He looked tired. He caught a fusillade of punches and came back with a bigger fusillade.
It's a series of punches thrown by PINKLON Thomas. He's been very impressive using that left jab and really doing a number on Tim Witherspoon. The left jab has been bothering Tim throughout the fight.
Witherspoon was a little shocked to see Thomas come back the way he did. It's still early. There are 5 rounds to go. But Witherspoon has got to get going.
And one thing to mention along those lines, Witherspoon was a little bit slow, or rather, Thomas was a little bit slow going back to his corner at the end of that last round. And he was leaning on Tim Witherspoon during the round. Now, maybe he was just taking a little bit of a blow. We'll see.
And now the jab of Witherspoon is starting to become effective. He's starting to land consistently. And he's starting to come to life now.
A lot of solid jabs in this fight.
Good body shot by Witherspoon.
Very effective jabs on both sides now. Witherspoon still seems to aim his right hand a little bit.
He's not, Witherspoon's not blinking as much, so it appears that his vision is starting to clear up. It's frustrating to have a left jab in your face, but to have a strong left jab that is capable of knocking you back. You really don't like that. It's really discouraging.
There is just the slightest bit of reddening over the left eye of PINKLON Thomas. It's not anything that's a factor right at the moment, but one of those things to watch. Both men scoring here.
You see the way that PINKLON Thomas shies away from that right hand. PINKLON is so strong, he just throws arm punches. He really doesn't put his body behind his punches. And as strong as he is,
and there again, it might have been thumbed that time. Witherspoon blinking his eyes, trying to stay away, and you know he's having troubles here. We'll have to try to take a look at that, see if there was a thumb involved, Larry, at the end of this round.
It just happens so quickly. It's so hard to detect once you hit the replay.
Witherspoon fights off the ropes, lunging punches.
Very good body movement by PINKLON Thomas.
And Witherspoon just stands there and took a couple of good shots. No question, but the right eye was bothering him. Does not seem to be bothering him right at the moment, however.
If PINKLON Thomas will throw some shots and once you get inside, he just keep throwing punches. If he decides to fight that in that manner. But he's doing a very good job staying on the outside with the left jab.
Witherspoon being active here and scoring probably the heavier of the two here in this round.
Witherspoon came back in that round. He turned it around a bit, The question now is whether he can sustain it. Now let's see what happened where Witherspoon came out blinking his eye. Right there. And I believe I did see a thumb there. It was absolutely thumbed in that with that punch. Right there you could see the thumb. Tim Witherspoon has 4 rounds left to defend his title successfully.
Well, right there, you did get a look at really what is the magic of television. It was definitely a thumb. It does not seem to be bothering Tim Witherspoon right at the moment. That is the right eye.
What happens, Bert, once Thomas lands a jab to that eye, Witherspoon starts to blink again. And what I'm sure he's going through is blurred vision.
Witherspoon started to load up a little bit over the last 2 rounds. And the swelling over the left eye of PINKLON Thomas a little bit worse than it was now.
Still very good lead-off right by Witherspoon. For Witherspoon, his best bet is to get inside and work that body and stay aggressive.
Good left hook by Witherspoon. Witherspoon started to load up a little bit here.
Well, he's getting away a lot of rounds, and in fact, he lost a point in one of the rounds for backhanding PINKLON Thomas. So he needs to get on the ball and become very aggressive. I like the way that PINKLON Thomas throws that left jab to the body. What he should do when he pop a left jab to the body, come upstairs with the right hand.
There's a little bit, I believe, a trickle of blood over the left eye of PINKLON Thomas. We'll wait till they square around face us to be sure about that.
It takes so much out of you when you miss a big punch thrown like was thrown by Witherspoon.
Coming down toward the end of the 9th round now, and Witherspoon's been very active the last 2.
Okay, baby? Lower, hang out. Yeah, I got it. Up and down. Deep breath. Deep breath. Don't worry about your inch. You got it. You deserve it, champ.
And you go to left hook, turn it over with the right hand. Okay? When you go to the body with the left, turn it over.
I thought I heard Thomas complaining about his ribs there in the corner. He's been getting some good body shots. Witherspoon has come on in the last couple of rounds, and it's a question of whether he can keep it up for 3 more rounds. Conditioning and will determine the end of this fight.
Yeah, I thought I heard the same thing, Larry. I thought I heard him say, what about my ribs? And we, of course, will get all the answers afterward. And when he did get hit downstairs, he backed out of there pretty quickly.
Well, Witherspoon is a great body puncher. And I think if Witherspoon should stay downstairs, maybe he'll see a signal that Thomas is hurt downstairs.
Meanwhile, Thomas, I'm sure, will try to keep the jab in the face of Tim Witherspoon if he is hurt, and just try to keep his man off him. And hope that he's built up enough points over the early rounds. Another observation, too, that PINKLON Thomas is being... Well, he just threw the right hand there. I was about to say he wasn't throwing the right hand very much, but he came with a couple of pretty good right hands over the top that time.
This would be, outside of marrying his beautiful wife, this would be a great achievement for PINKLON Thomas to win the world title.
Angelo Dundee saying 9 minutes. 9 minutes is all you got to go. And PINKLON Thomas, I'm sure, is counting every tick of that clock at this point.
Well, it's been a very fast a very fast pace. In fact, Angela said just 9 minutes. It's a long 9 minutes. It's a tough 9 minutes.
Thomas again getting that jab through to the face of Tim Witherspoon.
That left jab has worked all night.
Witherspoon lunges at Thomas and got a pretty good left hand in it, back Thomas against the ropes. Thomas seems to want to fight every time he gets hit.
The right hand is starting to drop again. So the left hook will probably land if Witherspoon get close enough inside.
Good left hook by Witherspoon again.
Fatigue is definitely setting aside of PINKLON Thomas, although he looked very impressive.
That was partially caught on the gloves of PINKLON Thomas.
But he doesn't need to take those kind of unnecessary punches, Barry. He can get outside and use that beautiful left jab that he has.
Thomas opens up and Witherspoon's back to the ropes.
Six minutes.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps millions of dollars at stake here in the last 2 rounds of a heavyweight championship fight. A good, tough championship fight. One of the better heavyweight fights of the last couple of years, I think.
In fact, the first one that we saw wasn't a bad one either, so we could conceivably have seen 24 pretty good, solid rounds of boxing.
You know what's happening? Witherspoon has given PINKLON Thomas an opportunity to get a breather, and that's exactly what he needs. So Thomas will be content to stay on the outside and throw his jab and catch a breather every now and then.
It does appear that PINKLON Thomas may have an injury, a rib injury of some sort, because he was exhorting his handlers to keep the pressure off by releasing some of the elasticity on the band of his trunks.
His upper body movement, Thomas, he's great. I mean, he gets away from all those punches.
And there's no worse injury, I would think, for any athlete, let alone a boxer, than a rib injury, because it affects your breathing. Thomas is breathing through his mouth a little bit. Witherspoon is busy, but he's not punching.
Well, I tell you one thing, the fact that the way that Witherspoon is fighting now, PINKLON Thomas should be able to land more left jabs, especially against the ropes. Witherspoon is constantly trying to land that left hook. A lot of times he'll wait and take a few shots and then retaliate with his punch. Well, his left hook. Like, just land.
Good solid left hook, and it stunned PINKLON Thomas. And there's that jab again.
It's a thing of beauty, bro. I mean, it's consistent, it's accurate. And it has a lot of power behind it. I think we're looking forward to an upset.
But it's looking more and more like it. Of course, I've seen some pretty funny-looking decisions in Las Vegas, I have to say that.
Come on, work it, get out, work it, get out. Let's go.
PINKLON's really tired. He was about to throw his right hand, and then he changed his mind.
PINKLON Thomas fighting a defensive fight right at the moment.
Witherspoon's tired also.
Witherspoon trying to work downstairs. And if Thomas is bothered by a rib injury, sure doesn't show it.
I'm sure Angela's going to say, 3 minutes, baby, you're the champ.
I thought that was a very odd round for Tim Witherspoon. I don't know why he let up. He may have given up the championship in the 11th round.
Last round. Get his legs, Aaron. All right, get his legs. Come on.
Push your right hand up. Get under them
Keep
shots.
your hands up.
Don't lay up.
Hands up. Box. Beat PINKLON Thomas for me. Will you? Come on, go.
To the body.
Get out.
Well, the last thing Angelo Dundee said was, beat PINKLON Thomas for me. Means that he's got a tired man. And Witherspoon knows that he pretty much has to go for it all here.
Oh, he's letting it all hang out now. So what Thomas has to do, in fact, Angelo's told him to keep those hands up. Witherspoon's going to be throwing everything.
This is it. This is the final 3 minutes. Thomas in a situation of dance with what brung you. And what has brung him has been a very solid left jab.
The left jab has been the key for PINKLON Thomas throughout the fight.
Crowd has really appreciated this fight, too. And in fact, it's interesting that even if Tim Witherspoon should lose this fight, he probably will have won more friends than he did in beating Greg Page for the title. Good shot to the heart by PINKLON Thomas.
I noticed there that Thomas brought that right hand up and was able to block that hook thrown by Witherspoon.
Witherspoon is fighting the kind of fight that looks to me like he thinks he's got it won, rather than a guy who thinks he's behind.
Oh, that was beautiful body movement by PINKLON. Now this is where Witherspoon doesn't want to be against PINKLON Thomas. Those long arms and strong left jab will start to get through shortly. Watch for the right hand of PINKLON.
Quick right hand lead as Witherspoon leaned in on him. Crowd going into a chant here. Very appreciative crowd with good reason. Very good fight.
It's a very good fight. And a very impressive PINKLON Thomas. You know, it's been a rough night for Tim Witherspoon. He's really trying desperately. And the guy's really giving his all. But I think it's just a little too late.
And the fact is, too, as I said, he probably will have won more friends and maybe a better future, even if he loses this fight. And it ends in a flurry. There was a good right hand by Witherspoon, but a case, I believe, of too little, too late. At the bell, it's over. Each man hand held aloft, thinking he has won the fight. I think PINKLON Thomas has won the fight, but as I said, I've seen some very funny-looking decisions here in Las Vegas, Ray.
Well, I tell you, he was very impressive, very consistent. That left jab proved to be the key punch in the entire fight. Witherspoon had it tough. He was just too tight and just couldn't get his punches off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision. Judge Hal Miller scores 114 Witherspoon, 114 Thomas. Judge Dolby Shirley scores 115, 112. And Judge Wayne Ford scores 116, 112 for the winner by majority decision and new WBC PINKLON Thomas.
Well, we have a new champion. It simply could not have been any closer. I'm not sure I saw quite as close a fight as the judges did, but as I said, I've seen some strange things go on here. And what a long road it has been for PINKLON Thomas. Drug addiction, was a great athlete as a kid, turned to drugs, kicked the drugs, started fighting rather late in life. Credits his wife Kathy with being a big part of the success that has culminated with a victory in a championship in the heavyweight division tonight. He is a happy man. It has been a long road, and it is a very happy ending for PINKLON Thomas.
PINKLON, you've come a long way. It's been a hard road. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, man, everything going through my mind right now. I don't know what to say. I got a little bit of tears in my eyes, but everybody has seen me cry. I'm just so happy. I can't realize. I can't believe it. I got to wake up in the morning and see the belt. I promised my little boy the belt. I'm going to give it to him in the morning for his birthday. This is just a great day for me.
PINKLON Pinklon, you were complaining about your sore ribs later in the fight. What happened?
I wasn't complaining.
No?
I didn't have no hurts. I just seen my jab kept working for me. It was irritating me. He kept acting as I was thumbing him or something.
Well, there was one picture that showed that you accidentally did thumb him. But when did you think that you had him under control and had his style solved?
Well, it was just a matter of figuring Tim out. I know he carried that cross-hand style, and I just really wanted to establish my jab and work things off of it. I felt the jab him to his body, from his head to his body, took it from him because I seen his body didn't have no muscle tone to it. And I learned to hit a guy on his shoulders and the chest to the body, you know, and it takes the gas from him. I seen his legs in the fourth round. He was kind of wobbling, you know.
Were you tired in the last several rounds?
No, I was just pacing myself, really. My corner kept telling me to go, and I seen I had it under control. As long as he wouldn't hit me with nothing to bounce, all I had to do was step back when he got ready to fire because I seen it coming.
Can you regroup your thoughts just for a moment? Talk about your wife, your child. This is one of the more unusual and touching stories of recent boxing history for you to come back from where you came from.
Yeah, my wife has been a great inspiration and a tool in my career, just like my hands and legs in the ring. And my kid also has had to go through all the trial and tribulation and errors with us. And we've had to have we suffer. Everybody goes through them, though. But from my background to my present right now, I'm just so happy. And I hope that, you know, from what I've accomplished will inspire all the people in the world. And I'm going to try to be a great champion.
Quickly, what are your plans now? Who would you like to fight next?
Right now, I'm going to go and just get with my wife. I want to show my boy the belt. I want to look at it. I said I wasn't going to look at it until I won it. So I don't even know what it looked like. And then I want to just give me a little rest, and then I, you know, come back with something.
Thank you very much, Pinklon Thomas.
The WBA heavyweight champion Jerry Coetzee and the IBF heavyweight champion Larry Holmes. And they, of course, are going to have a fight upcoming. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, let me get your impressions of the fight that we just saw. We have a new champion in boxing. That's what we need, another heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes. But it was a very good fight.
Yes, I agree with you, Barry. It was a very good fight, but again, they had a championship fight without the champion. I'm the champion, and I think the world know it. These guys keep fighting each other, and the title keep changing hands. I had the title 6 years, reigning heavyweight, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
All right, eventually this will all get settled for sure. Jerry Coetzee, the WBA champion, let me ask you, before we talk about you two guys, let's talk about what we saw tonight.
Well, I expected Thomas to beat Witherspoon, and I don't think this is good news for Larry, because Larry had a tough call with Tim Witherspoon, and Pinklon Thomas made real easy work of him, and I fought a draw with Pinklon Thomas. I fought a draw. So if I'm Larry, I'll think twice about my upcoming fight.
The kid does have a very effective left jab. We've always talked about your left jab. We saw a pretty good one tonight.
Yes, Pink have a good left jab, but if I were box Pinklon Thomas, I would use stumbler's gloves. But no less, you know, Jerry is making a lot of statements. I'm not worrying about Jerry. All he had to do is sign the contract. I had done it all. I gave money up. I put money up. I postponed dates. I postponed my retirement. I done it all, Barry. And hey, just to prove to the people, I'm it. I'm the man. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. Not Jerry Coetzee, not Pinklon Thomas, but me, Larry Holmes, the undisputed reigning heavyweight champion of the world. The world knows it. Let the world be the judge of this, Barry. I don't got to tell you this because you know it.
All right, Jerry Coetzee. Now, this man says we have to sign a contract. Now, we had heard there was a contract signed. Are we going to see Jerry Coetzee fight Larry Holmes?
We're definitely going to see this fight coming off. And Larry Holmes is quite right, but he's been calling the shots as well. And, you know, Larry Holmes is living with a dream. And that dream is not going to continue.
All my dreams
used
come
to
true,
be.
Larry. All of my dreams come true, because if it went, I wouldn't have been a heavyweight champion for 6 years. And as soon as this Trump here put his name on the contract, I'm going to knock him out. And when the judge makes his final decision next week, and then I'll be able to go forward with this fight. But all he got to do is come on, stay the hell out of South Africa, and come on right here and prove to me that he's the heavyweight champ. Don't worry about the dreams. My dreams come true. And when I knock you out, it'll be my other dream come true. And then I might let all of y'all have it. Because I'm bad. Everybody know it. Am I bad, y'all? Am I bad? Who's the champion?
All right, Larry Holmes has rallied the crowd. There is There's split support here. We got a couple of champions. The word is this fight is going to take place in November, and now everybody's going to have to sit back. We'll watch PINKLON Thomas tonight. We'll watch these two guys, we hope, in November. And while they knock each other out, we'll knock ourselves out and go back up to the ring with our own Larry Merchant, another champion. Larry.